It was 2009. My husband's business unexpectedly took a tumultuous turn. Sleepless nights, failure upon failure, and doubt, always doubt. I was married, a mother of 4, and not sure of the direction my life was taking. But there was a voice within me which I couldn't quiet. Can I ask you guys a question? I know it's not the most conventional way to start a talk, but indulge me for a second here. Was to ask you one word that defined life, the world we live in, your motto perhaps. What would it be? Love? Success? Happiness even? Of course, there are no wrong answers here. But for me, that word has been growth. Hi, my name is Madhvi, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Green Protein. And here's my story. Growth. It's a funny word, isn't it? No one tells us what growth is or how we grow. As children, it's almost effortless. We are born into the world a helpless mess. And over a period of time, we learn how to talk, feed ourselves, speak, sometimes more than one language. Why? It's because we have no fear, no doubt, nothing to lose. I, as a child, was always plagued by self-doubt. In school and college, in spite of being one of the top students, I never thought I deserved my success. I always thought it was accidental. The debates team, the drama team, even sports, I made it to all these places. But I always felt I never deserved it. Doubt and me had a dialogue daily. But you know what was different about me? I showed up in spite of it. I still do. I got married at the age of 18 and moved to Hong Kong. Apart from my husband, I had no friends, no family. I didn't even speak the language. Phones, communication, accessibility was not as it is today. I was lonely and terribly purposeless. We used to have newspapers being delivered home daily, and I would scroll through the job classifieds, thinking about what job I could take and what job I deserved. And then on one day, coming across what seemed like a great opportunity, I hesitantly applied. And I got called for what was the first job interview in my life. I was 18. The job was to teach English to children in a Chinese kindergarten. Of course, my old friend Doubt accompanied me. I was worried that I was not qualified enough and I didn't have the requisite skills. But I persevered nonetheless. They offered me the job almost immediately. They didn't even wait to interview the other candidates. And I did them proud. 2 years, when I was ready to move on to the next phase in my journey, I was probably the youngest and the highest paid teacher in that school, well loved by my students and well regarded by my colleagues. It still didn't feel real. I still felt like an imposter. This pattern continued throughout my 20s. By this time, I'd had 4 kids and moved back to Bombay. I'd taken a hiatus from work to focus on my young family. So it was a brilliant time to continue my education. I started studying law. Why law, you may ask? Because I come from a family of illustrious lawyers, and it seemed like the most natural and comfortable progression. Comfortable being the operative word here. And I was bloody good at it too. I finished my degree and joined a lawyer at the Mumbai High Court for an internship. This was the time my old friend Doubt was at its strongest. I was 30, my peers were 20-something. I was married, a mother of 4, and not sure of the direction my life was taking. They were single, focused, and it seemed that they had all the answers. I felt undeserving, unworthy, unhappy. I quit 1 year into what was supposed to be my career, my game plan, my calling. My break lasted for about 4 years. During this time, I was privileged enough to not do anything, and I loved it. I was a good mother, I was a good wife, but I didn't do anything to advance my personal growth. I didn't face any challenges. I stalled. My young daughter, my mother, my husband, they all questioned this phase, this stagnancy. But I managed to avoid all their questions beautifully. But there was a voice within me which I couldn't quiet. It was 2009. My husband's business unexpectedly took a tumultuous turn. My daughter had just applied for undergrad in the US, and our expenses were at an all-time high. Then COVID happened. It dealt the death blow. Business wouldn't recover from that point. It was during this phase that the idea of green protein was born. The world was going through a lot of change, and people were introspecting their life and health choices. Vegan protein was new, and people were curious about it, and so was I. But I hated chocolate, and 90% of the options available were chocolate flavored. So I thought, why not have a fruit flavored alternative instead? However, it wasn't as easy as that. I thought, who am I to question this? Maybe if nobody has done this so far, there may be not a market for it. I don't have the expertise, the knowledge, or the skills to make this come into life. But this time, I didn't let doubt dictate my inaction. Through several conversations with friends, we ideated, talked, strategized, researched, nights on end. My two best friends joined me on this journey. Fortunately, they didn't have their job constraints as the world was in a lockdown. And me, I had nothing to lose. But then, there's a lot more to starting a business, launching a product than just a brilliant idea. Sleepless nights, failure upon failure, and doubt, always doubt. Production problems, design problems. I faced them all. And more importantly, I learned through them all. When months of hard work culminate in a failed deal, believe me, it takes a lot to stand up. But I did. And these are the days that define us. These are the days that make a difference. Team calls where I didn't understand the corporate jargon thrown at me. I used to sit with my cell phone and Google till I understood better, till I learned, till I was able to keep up. There were lots of twists and turns along the way, some disasters and some victories. And then the opportunity to audition for Shark Tank presented itself to us. This was around 6 months into our startup journey. Again, self-doubt creeped in, but I just focused on showing up. Interview after interview, audition after audition. The week leading to the shoot was one of the scariest I'd ever experienced. I constantly felt like I didn't belong. The average age of the entrepreneur being seen on Shark Tank was 25. I was 40, a lawyer, a mother of 4, and a quitter. What did I know about entrepreneurship? Why would the sharks even listen to me? Would I not make a fool out of myself? But I clawed my way through all my fears. I changed my story. I was authentic. I narrated my truth, including my complacency. And somehow it struck a chord with the judges. They thought my business was investable, it had potential, and we came away with 4 offers. Even today, as I stand here before you, I have a natural tendency to ask, why me? What have I done that is so different, that's exceptional? But the truth is, not all of us are exceptional. Most of us are normal. Does that mean our stories are less inspiring, that they don't deserve to be told? I'm still a serial doubter, if there is such a word. I wake up every day, grapple with so many doubts, and push through them daily. That's what makes me different. Where you are now is not necessarily where you have to end up. A little bit of hard work, imagination, and showing up daily. These are the secret ingredients. As for me, I'm still learning to see where I am and where I want to be and not let that scare me.
अगर आप इस टॉक के एंड तक पहुंच चुके हैं तो मैं आपको जोश टॉक्स का एक दूसरा रूप भी दिखाना चाहता हूं, जिससे मैं काफ़ी देर से जुड़ा हुआ हूं और मुझे बहुत बहुत ज़्यादा पसंद है कि वो क्या कर रहे हैं। जोश टॉक्स ने एक नया ऐप लॉन्च किया है जिसका नाम है जोश स्किल्स। अब वो नया नहीं रहा, काफ़ी टाइम से है, लाखों लोग उसको अब यूज़ करते हैं। और जोश स्किल्स पे आप अपनी ज़िंदगी के लिए कोर्सेज ढूंढ सकते हैं। वो कोर्स नहीं जो आपको फिजिक्स, केमिस्ट्री, कॉमर्स, बिजनेस स्टडीज पढ़ाएंगे, वो कोर्सेज जो आपकी जिंदगी में आपको कैसे जीना चाहिए वो सिखाएंगे। मैंने खुद जो स्किल्स पे बहुत सारे कोर्सेज बनाए हैं, पब्लिक स्पीकिंग पे, इमोशनल क्राइसिस कैसे हैंडल किया जाए, अपनी पर्सनालिटी कैसे डेवलप की जाए। हर एक कोर्स में डेली क्विजेज हैं, एक्सरसाइजेज हैं, एक बहुत ही खूबसूरत कम्युनिटी है जो आपको सपोर्ट करेगी, आपको इनकरेज करेगी। आज ही डाउनलोड करें जोश स्किल्स का ऐप और उनके कोर्सेज एक्सप्लोर करके अपनी जिंदगी को आगे बढ़ाएं।